Hey everybody, how you doing? If you've been around me for any length of time on the website or certainly at one of my live events, you know that I love to use sports analogies when I'm teaching. There's so many parallels, it's amazing. Well, here I am looking online because just this past weekend, of course, we had the big games. The Patriots won a squeaker getting past the Ravens and the Giants beat the 49ers. Both great games, and we're looking forward to an engaging Super Bowl. But this is amazing to me. I mean, and this almost treads on the same theme we did a few weeks ago on our Power of One show. If you don't know that, that's our iTunes show that we do. It's a video TV show, whatever you want to call it. But I talk a little bit about Tim Tebow and all the grief he's been getting. I mean, it's one thing, you know, I'm the first one to admit he's not the best quarterback in the world. His mechanics aren't great. He's still young and learning. But man, the hatred that people spew out about him is unreal. But now I'm looking at two quarterbacks that are pretty good. I mean, granted, Manning, you know, Eli, he's been good but not great up to this year. But even though I'm not a huge fan of him, you got to admit the guy is playing at a super high level. He's really gotten better. But then Tom Brady? I mean, if you don't know Tom Brady's story, he got drafted in the last round by the Patriots 10 years ago to be a backup. He wasn't even good enough to start in college. He went to Michigan and he sat behind another guy who was an All-American superstar at Michigan. So it's kind of a miracle he even got drafted. Then he only played because Drew Bledsoe, the quarterback for the Patriots at the time, got injured and he got forced into it. And I mean, the rest is history. He is just one of the best quarterbacks ever to play the position. Arguably, some people say he's the best. And I'm reading all kinds of, first of all, I'm looking at the YouTube videos on Tom Brady and wow, a lot of nasty ones. But there's a website called IHateTomBrady.com. And I mean, this is just remarkable to me. I mean, this guy is not, if you think Tebow's not a good quarterback, fine. But how do you say Brady's not a good quarterback? But I mean, people are ripping on him. Why? Well, because he's incredibly talented, because he just built a $20 million home in California, because he has a supermodel wife, and it's remarkable. And this is my message for you. So many of you are out there striving to be successful, and you're working hard, and you think when you get to the top of the mountain that everyone around you is going to start cheering and clapping and really singing your praises. And while it's true that some of them will, a lot of them won't. And it really can be frustrating when you start having success and even friends and family members say things about you. I remember not that long ago, well, I guess it was a while ago, it's about 10 years ago, when I first was, you know, starting to make really significant money and I hadn't been to my home area. I grew up in New Jersey, but I had moved to Texas, travel all over. So I went back to Jersey, saw my best friend, my best buddy, you know, amazing buddy. Hadn't seen him in quite a while. And, you know, we were having a conversation. He was acting kind of weird. And he said, well, is it true? I mean, I just got to come out and ask it after we had a couple glasses of wine. Is it true that you're selling drugs? I mean, it's great that you make a lot of money, Mark, but, and I'm like, drugs? I don't even, if you know me, I'm not a drug guy. I didn't take drugs. I don't even understand drugs. I don't know what ounces and grams. I don't know anything about it. So that to me was hilarious. I mean, I just busted out laughing. But because I was successful, people who I hadn't seen in years were talking to my best friend, no less, and telling him that I was selling drugs. That's the only reason I was making money. And that really hurt my feelings for a while. It blew me out. But then I realized, I remember reading an article in the Kansas City Star many years ago that said, why do people rain on your parade when you succeed? And it said, because so many people have never had a parade, they're literally pissed off at you that you're finally doing something great. Well, I just look at this and I look at the comments on Facebook and on Twitter about Tom Brady, and it is amazing to me how many people hate him. But here's what you got to do. If you're going to get to the top, folks, you have to develop thick skin. Okay, if you don't have people writing anything nasty about you, for years people wrote nasty stuff about me on the internet. I'm sure they're still doing it. I mean, it's hilarious. One guy wrote 15 years ago that I was an elderly, balding windbag. Now, I guess maybe I'm a windbag. I hope I'm not. But if I'm a windbag, and back then I was in my 30s and I still pretty much have my hair. So I'm not sure what that guy was talking about. But You know what I mean? People are going to be out there, and if they don't have something happy going on in their lives, they're just going to slam and bash everyone else. So don't get upset when you have haters. Don't get upset when you have critics. My old boss used to say, you know what? Dogs don't bark at parked cars. You can't move your boat without making waves. And if you don't understand it, people in little boats get really upset with the people with the big boats, make big waves and splash them and rock their boats. It's just the way of the world. And this was something when I was growing up, I was so idealistic, and I really was affected in the beginning with all the haters. But don't let that bother you. It's just part of the game, and it never goes away. If Tom Brady wins his Super Bowl, believe me, there'll be more negative stuff. But when all is said and done, and he is hanging out in his $20 million mansion with his beautiful supermodel wife and his children and all his friends, traveling around the world, living an amazing lifestyle, do you think he really cares about what people write about him online or any of the videos they put on? In a weird way, it's probably a form of flattery. You know, once again, if they're not talking about you, you probably ain't doing anything. I forget the Aristotle quote. It's on my Facebook page. Hold on, let me go find it. It's really good. I am online here for real, lest you think I'm not. Hold on, I'm going to do this because I think it's important. If you want to, where is it? It used to be right. You know, Facebook keeps changing things. I can't find it. It's an Aristotle quote. It says something like, if you don't want anyone to attack you or say mean things about you, be nothing, do nothing, and say nothing. You know, the bottom line is we live in a world filled with humans. Not all people agree. Not all people see things from the same perspective. So you're going to have people who don't like you. You know, let me just share this message in closing with you. Be authentic. Be yourself. Nothing makes me sicker than people who are trying to be so politically correct they never say what's really on their mind. Say what you really believe in. I do it all the time, and I know some people don't like me because of it, and they're not going to follow me. But hopefully the people who do follow me, I resonate with you because I'm speaking my truth. And if my truth is your truth, then we can really bond together. I am never going to sugarcoat something. I'm never going to say something I don't really believe just because it's popular. I would recommend that you take the same stance in whatever line of work you're doing. And believe me, you will follow or find loyal people that are willing to follow you. More than anything, understand, most critics have never achieved anything. No disrespect, the Siskel and Ebert and all the movie critics, but I don't think any of them have won an Oscar with their remarkable movie. So when the critics sling their arrows, just understand most of them are only slinging arrows because they don't have the guts or the talent to get on the field and make it happen. So you get on the field, you make it happen, you become impervious to all that junk, and remember that when you do get to the top of the mountain, it is crowded. People say it's lonely at the top. It's not lonely. I go to the country club, I go to the nice restaurants, travel first class, and there's always other people there, and they're usually in a really good mood. And the bottom line is we all have one thing in common. There's always somebody who's putting us down because we've made waves with our big boats. Get a big boat, make some waves, have some fun, don't let it bother you. Talk to you next week.